What's up, agents, and welcome back to another Division video. We've just got off the Ubisoft forward. There was kind of a clip at the beginning before the forward started, and there was clips at the end after the forward had finished. But it contained a lot of info that I guess most people are still trying to wrap their heads around. And this one's going to be about how Seasons 2.0 is probably going to change the way the game is played for everybody forever and going forward. If you want to check out the patch notes that I've just been through in detail, check out my previous video. That video is all about Season 1 and what's coming there. This is all about Year 6, the Division 2, the road ahead. So don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. And let's get straight into it before my voice fails me. Right, so what I think I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to play this very short-ish video, the Year 6 deep dive. I will talk over it if you've not seen it yet as well. I'll link it down below so you can see it without my chatter. So let's start with that, and then when we go back to the article, there is a bit more detail that they kind of don't mention. So I will highlight some things along the way. Let's go.
As we're wrapping up Year 5, we want to thank you for your continuous support. During this year, we brought you Project Resolve, a revamp of Project Rewards, a significant boost to global events replayability, various PvP improvements, a major gear balancing pass, as well as almost 2,000 bug fixes.
These major changes laid the foundation for exciting updates coming with
Look at that beard.
and even more thrilling developments ahead. We are just getting started.
Year 6 is a year of transformation as we prepare the game for even more content.
In Year 6, the Division 2 will feature 3 seasons. Each of them will bring fundamental changes to the endgame and our seasonal model, enhancing the game's accessibility and engagement to new heights.
The first season, titled First Rogue, is set to begin on June 11th.
This is a crazy trailer.
Keener is alive.
Come find me.
His watch is definitely orange. Why is his watch orange?
Skinner is alive and has come to Washington, D.C. to meet with us. However, as is always the case with Skinner, the road to finding him is paved with dangers, and his true intentions remain unclear.
What do you believe, Agent?
First important change that we're bringing in Year 6 is one endgame for all agents. All owners of
We talked about this in my previous video, so go and check that out.
Level up their characters to level 40 without needing to own Warlords of New York and enjoy the seasonal experience.
That means that all Division 2 players can continue leveling up in Washington, D.C., and once they reach level 40, they will gain access to all past and future endgame content, including exclusive weapons and gear, seasonal manhunt and events, endgame modes like the Summit, Countdown, and Paradise Lost Incursion.
I mean, this is a pretty huge change because it actually removes all of the world tier system as well. It also removes the fact that when you get to level 31, you're not going to start getting green and purple gear. So this is a huge change for the game. I really hope tomorrow after maintenance, everything's kind of okay.
We need the Division.
To expedite players' access to the endgame, we're introducing a new progression system to offer you more ways to advance and customize your gameplay experience. Seasons 2.0.
With Seasons 2.0, we'll bring a fresh twist to the experience, seasonal characters. By creating a season-specific character, you'll be able to experiment with new builds, modifiers and mechanics affecting both agents and enemies, getting a unique experience every season.
So let's just quickly talk about that before we move on, and we'll talk about it in much more detail when we get to the actual written article. I think a lot of people there are seeing that you start at level 1 and seeing that as a negative, but what you've got to think about there is it does talk about expediting the EXP process and new systems in place for that. There's also going to be how the world is changed, kind of what I guess they would call something like a seasonal modifier that will change the way you play. You'll also be earning your rewards at the same time as doing this. So you're kind of doing this for a reason to play the game, not just, you know, grinding your normal character out as you would. But if you wish to, I guess there's absolutely nothing stopping you just using your normal character. Just play with your normal character, and then when it becomes available to your normal character, just play there. You're not going to be forced to have to play this. There's nowhere that, there's nothing that says you're going to have to be forced to play it. So, I think a lot of people might be worried when they see the level 1 thing, or think they might have to get their characters wiped. Nothing's happening to our actual characters that we've grinded for, for years on end.
We streamlined the progression to ensure a rewarding journey both for new players and veterans.
There we go.
Requiring extensive playtime to reach level 40.
Expect weekly updates filled with fresh activities, improved progression, and rebalanced XP gain.
Weekly updates as well. When have we ever really had weekly seasonal updates to the Division? We haven't. People kind of log on now and complete the season track in a few hours, and are kind of done at that point, especially if they're not bothered about the manhunts and the story and things like that. So again, another huge change, and be interesting to see what these changes are on a weekly basis.
All within an immersive narrative that unfolds through year 6.
Kind of looking here, if there's anything changed or anything different. This just looks like normal gameplay, right? I don't think there's anything going on here. That's weird. They're both dizzy. I don't know what kind of happened there.
At the end of each season,
Why were they dizzy? Did I miss something? Is there a sneak peek there? So they'd become dizzy when he shot him. No, they're already dizzy. There was this symbol here, but it looks like it's that brand new exotic shotgun, so that might be what that is.
Season, all your hard-earned XP and rewards will merge with your main characters, and your seasonal characters will be added to your existing roster.
So at the end of the season, anything you've earned gets added to your normal characters, and essentially it looks like the seasonal character just turns into a regular character at that point. But that then means you can transfer everything over to your main character and have as much fun with all of your new gear as you want to.
Expanding your options and strategies.
Year 6 also transforms the manhunts as we know them, bringing a new gameplay
This hoodie's
experience.
sick.
Say goodbye to targets and lieutenants as we introduce weekly scouts, allowing for a better paced story progression.
Each scout will be a project consisting of a few engagement activities for you to complete.
Scouts will be available to seasonal characters only and built to complement your overall progression in the season.
Alright, so it does look like the new story content is going to be locked into the seasonal characters from what they said there. So although the gear won't be, because you'll be able to transfer it over at the end of the season, if you want to actually do the weekly scouts, you are going to be forced into playing the seasonal character.
That's not all. Prepare for a new difficulty level available for climax missions only. Master.
Master difficulty, I think people have been screaming for harder things in the game. Let's hope this really does lift, kind of live up to our expectations, and is actually really hard content. I'm talking, this must be harder than Legendary, right? If it's called Master. So let's hope this is really, really hard.
Master difficulty will offer an epic conclusion to each season, providing challenging and thrilling gameplay.
And I kind of hope we can go back to the older climax missions and play them on Master as well.
Later in the year, we're excited to bring you an improved player customization experience. Look forward to improvements and new functionalities that will let you celebrate your characters and achievements in more dynamic and personalized ways.
So that's going to be all about vanity, right?
Year 6 will culminate in the new story DLC, which will return players to the place where it all began, Brooklyn, New York.
Join the Division in
a lot of people are excited for that, including myself. A new map? Hell yeah. New content? Come on. Alright, so that's what they said. So let's just go into the Year 6 Road Ahead section and see if there's anything else that we can kind of pick up on that they didn't actually talk about. Right, okay, so that's just that. So that's the roadmap. This is obviously what we're getting tomorrow, and then in I guess 12 weeks or so, we'll get the new 2.0 season. Let's see, so that's tomorrow, one end game. So we kind of talked about that in the last video, so we don't really need to talk about that again. This is the kind of bit that we're really interested in, right? The Seasons 2.0. Seasons were introduced in Division 2 in March 2020 with the release of Warlords. They became a key aspect of the endgame, yielding positive results that have strengthened player engagement. However, after 4 years, the model has reached its limit. Yeah, I mean, we can all kind of agree that the seasons are kind of over pretty quickly for most players. They'll log on for a couple of days when it comes out and then kind of be done with it. And if they do come back, it's just because a new manhunt has happened. They'll do that and then they'll go away, you know, not even lasting a day. We've gained valuable insight into what works and what doesn't. With each new season, it's become a bit harder to bring novelty and surprises. To prepare for the game's future, we need to reevaluate our seasonal model, update it, and equip ourselves with the right tools to make each season truly unique. Season 2.0 will offer an exciting mix of new gameplay elements, new story, and rewards, and all presented in a fresh way that allows for greater creativity and surprise. So they're not really telling us much there, but it does feel like there's quite a bit going on. It's not just going to be global events, it's going to be something completely new. And like they mentioned in the video, this is going to be a weekly change as well. So that's that for me, I think is quite good. And we get the impression that it's like a Diablo model where you start a level 1 character. The leveling up process sounded like it was going to be much faster. And what would be interesting from that as well, if you start in a level 1 character, you know, and you've got no gear, you're starting, you know, kind of a fresh, but with a expedited leveling system, is the fresh take that would then bring to PvP. Because everybody's back on a level playing field. There's kind of none of these systems that have got in the way for people who've been playing for years and years and years now with expertise, you know, out the wazoo. If this is a completely new level 1 character that's got nothing, then all of a sudden PvP becomes a completely new playground. And the people that are still playing it at the end of the season might be rewarded because they've done a whole season of grind and they're pretty good. But kind of at the beginning of a season, it feels like there'll be a kind of blank canvas for everybody to kind of enjoy PvP again. Would be interesting to see how that works out. Each season is meant to be experienced from level 1, featuring a fully revamped and accelerated progression designed swiftly to allow players to the end game, while gradually introducing all game mechanics to prepare for them for level 40. So that's interesting. I wonder how many missions it will take for us to get to level 40. That's definitely going to be interesting. Seasons will offer a flexible structure, allowing them to progress in many ways, but also provide clear guidance on a series of objectives and projects to accompany the players through their progression journey. So it really sounds like it will be nothing like how we level up now, and the system will be completely new and completely fresh. To create and maintain, there you go, ever fresh experience, each season will introduce a new set of gameplay modifiers, enabling new play styles and challenges that will require a reevaluation of established strategies and builds. So again, this brings kind of to the point where, to me, it feels like Division got pretty, well, it is at the moment, it's pretty stale, right? Everybody runs strikers. That's kind of how the game is, right? Everybody runs strikers. And yeah, there are other builds that are viable and there are other people that will play other builds and things like that. But this is going to perhaps make 5.11 the strongest gear set, because the bonuses on it will get some kind of bonus. I'm completely guessing here, but when it says gameplay modifiers enabling new play styles, that very much sounds to me like it might be like, well, actually, you could run strikers and it will work, but if you run shotguns, you'll get a huge damage bonus or something, you know, along the lines of that. So, you know, outside of global events, this sounds like this could be, you know, the seasons where they'll just change all the time, but give you a reason to use stuff you will never normally use or never normally farm. And the added bonus to that is that you start at level 1, so you kind of know, you kind of plan your routes ahead. You don't have to go back into your old gear, expertise it and farm it and grind it and stuff like that. Starting afresh, and you can kind of aim to where you want to aim to with that. I mean, I think that sounds pretty good. It's very Diablo-esque. If anyone's not played Diablo before, it kind of keeps things fresh, keeps you something to do all the time, but you still have the availability to go back and play with your old characters. There's no loss there anyway. So it's kind of giving us more things to do than a manhunt for a day or a season pass for a day. And then we've got the new Manhunt 2.0. They did mention that the new climax missions will have the new master difficulty, which is really, really cool. I can't wait for that. And it says here that it provides this challenging gameplay experience, which has been tailored for a team of 4. So it'll be interesting to see if they're solo, or if you can solo them, or, you know, if there's certain builds where we can build with the seasonal modifiers that will allow us saw them on Master. Again, sounds like more ways to keep the game fresh and more reasons to come back and play the game. And then we've got the player expression, which comes, you know, later down the line, even more along with the DLC, which I guess is just vanity. But if they're going to bring vanity along with the new Brooklyn DLC, I'm all up for it. I've seen quite a lot of things online where I think this is it's been quite negatively taken, but for me, I don't really see any negatives in it. If I want to play the game as I play it now, I can just jump on my normal character and play the game as I play it now. If I want to play the game with fresh new systems, new modifiers, play with new gear, I can create a seasonal character and play the game. I think if they add in a Diablo type model to the game is huge. I think it really will give people a reason to play the game on a daily, on a daily basis if it's handled correctly, which I really hope that it's going to be. And yeah, I mean, it kind of feels like a soft relaunch of the game they talk about for years to come. Division 3 is years and years away. So the fact that they're stripping systems out, touching things they never touched in a long time with the level 30 stuff that's happening tomorrow, it really feels like they're putting a lot of background work to straighten this game out, to take away what normally hinders them in a way to, make the game new and fresh and completely new all over again. Feels like probably one of the biggest changes we've had, if not the biggest change we have ever had since Warlords of New York was added to the game. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. I'm scared that people are going to think I'm white knighting, but I mean, I don't feel like we've seen enough of it to white knight it or to put a downer on it. Tomorrow will be interesting. A lot of new players can jump on for £8.75, which the game is right now in the Ubisoft store. That includes Warlords of New York, and play straight through and not have any weird leveling systems in the way. And it'll probably feel a lot more harmonized for them. To me, as a veteran player tomorrow, I'm just interested to see the story and the new gear. But that's going to tie us over until the next season come along, and then we'll see if this season 2.0 really does sound as exciting as what it does, or if it's just going to turn people off and it's not the way to go. I mean, if it turns people off and it wasn't the way to go and it's not successful, we probably won't see a year 7. Although if it is super successful and it turns the game around, like, other Rainbow Six, other games like Rainbow Six got turned around, and, Ghost Recon got turned around, although it might have been too late for that game. I kind of hope that this will keep Division 2 fresh and going for much longer. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. This has been a really, really long video, and my throat is giving up on me. So don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I look forward to seeing the comments down below. Goodbye, agents.